normal of digital world. Let radio and television be at your fingertips. Get news and current events, entertainment, sports, kiddies programs, and more at your beck and call on Aliamoye TV and radio. Just visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on all social media platforms. Then you are a global citizen. Aliamoye TV and radio, voice of the voiceless.
It is essential to be up to date on happenings around you, and to make that easy for you, ladies and gentlemen, we present Fresh Light, where we bring fresh newspaper headlines to the limelight. Mondays to Saturdays, 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Aliamoye TV and radio. Watch, like, subscribe, and make sure your notification is activated on our YouTube channel. You can also like and comment on our pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Aliamoye TV and radio.
Lovely Tuesday morning, the 15th day in the month of August 2023. Gradually, August is also winding away. It is a call to remind you that don't forget to achieve whatever you have in mind to achieve while time flies. Reminding that time flies. All right, good morning and welcome to a fresh episode of Fresh Light on Aliamoye TV and radio. This is where we'll take you through prominent headlines and stories in the newspapers this beautiful morning on Aliamoye TV and radio. My name is Modupe Akinyosoye. Without further ado, we can start the review. And I have a couple of newspapers as usual. I have the Vanguard newspaper, I have the Punch newspaper, I have the Sun newspaper, and the Nation newspaper. We quickly go through the newspapers we have this morning. All right, we kickstart with the Sun newspaper. Let's get to see a couple of the headlines and stories on the front page of the Sun newspaper. From the front page of the Sun, we have a military jet on rescue mission crashes, with a rider flying to Niger State, to evacuate soldiers killed, injured by terrorists. Page 4 captures the details of that very story. Tinubu has crushed expectations of Nigerians. Ex-APC National Vice Chair revealed that on page 27 in the Daily Sun newspaper. Also from the front page of the Sun, we have drug hawkers and fruit sellers killing Nigerians silently. NAFDAC revealing that report on page 6 in the Sun newspaper. CBN moves to halt Naira slide. That with the rider on page 25 in the Daily Sun newspaper. FCC will receive salaries without working. Beneficiaries of job racketeering tell representatives. Page 28 of the Daily Sun newspaper captures that very story. Also from the front page, panic grips motorists over anticipated fuel price hike. With the rider, queues return to fueling stations as NLC vows to ground country if price increases again. Page 2 and page 27 graces that very story. And of course, you get to see this headline as well on the front page of the Daily Sun. Court orders CBN to pay 2.8 billion naira to 313 reinstated staff of Federal Urban Mass. That's on page 4 in the Sun newspaper. And you get to see an unfortunate picture of an unfortunate incident that happened, that the crashed Nigerian Air Force aircraft in Shiroro, Niger State yesterday. Quite unfortunate. Quickly giving you a couple of stories from the Sun newspaper. We'll start with this very story from the Sun. Bandits kill Major, 10 soldier. 10 soldier, others in Niger. An army major, 11 soldiers, and yet to be ascertained number of local vigilance members have been reportedly killed by suspected terrorists in Zungeru, Uwushi local government area of Niger State. And 8 other soldiers were also injured during the gun duel that took place on Sunday. The terrorists, numbering about 70 and armed with sophisticated weapons, reportedly ambushed the soldiers But the troop did not go down without stiff opposition as they eliminated over 30 of the insurgents. From the Sun, bandits kill Major, 11 soldiers and others in Niger State. Away from that rather unfortunate story, also we have this report from the Sun newspaper that states the interception of some ammunition. Customs intercept 1,245 rounds of ammunition. Okay, 1,245 rounds of ammunition, 203 bags of foreign rice in Ogun. The Nigeria Customs Service, Ogun Area 1 Command, has intercepted and seized 1,245 rounds of live cartridges smuggled into the country from Republic of Benin. And this was disclosed by the controller in charge of the command, Bamidele Makinde. And you get that details in the Sun newspaper. Customs intercept 1,245 rounds of ammunition, 203 bags of foreign rice in Ogun. Away from that, we also have from the Sun newspaper, Tinubu has crashed. Okay, Tinubu has crashed, getting to see the details. Tinubu has crashed expectations of Nigerians, APC chieftain revealing that, with a rider urges president to urgently address disturbing signals in ruling party. Former National Vice Chairman, Northwest of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Saliu Lukman, has knocked President Bola Tinubu for allegedly crashing expectations of party members and, by extensions, Nigeria. In a letter to President Tinubu, the former Director General of Progressive Governors Forum listed some of the public expectations that Tinubu has crushed, to include his choice of cabinet ministers and those on the APC leadership inability to halt the fall of the Naira and management of the Forex exchange. Rest of that in the Sun newspaper. You get that with the headline, Tinubu has crashed expectations of Nigerians, says APC chieftain. Away from the Sun newspaper, let's get to see what we have in the Vanguard newspaper. From the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, we have some of the headlines on the front page of the Vanguard. It's economic shutdown if petrol price rises again, says Labour, with several riders. Page 5 captures the details. Federal government to revive least moribund government assets on stock exchange. Page 19 captures that. Niger coups to prosecute ousted President Bazoum for high treason. Page 5 as page 8, I beg your pardon, as the details of that story. 50 bandits, 13 military personnel killed in Niger State encounter. That rather sad one also resurfacing on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. Page 6 as the details. Delta, Ondo, Sokoto, 16 others to experience flooding in August. NEMA revealing that on page 9 in the Vanguard newspaper. And also from the front page on Naira slide, CBN moves to crack down on speculations. Page 20 captures the details. Gani Adams petitions Kwara governor warns of looming religious war. Page 13 has the details. Herdsmen killed 2 teachers, injured 2 others in Plateau School. Page 6 has that very story. Representatives query JAMB over lopsided employment. Page 9 has the details, and a sports headline here says Napoli puts massive release clause for Osimhen new deal. Page 30 captures the sports story, and you get to see pictures or as soldiers beat up LASMA official right on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. You see the footage showing how men in military fatigue beat up LASMA officials in Lagos yesterday. Quickly going through the Vanguard newspaper, we'll start with the economic shutdown. It's economic shutdown if petrol price rises again, says Labour. The Nigeria Labour Congress NLC yesterday threatened to shut down the economy without giving notice to the government if the petrol pump price was increased again. It also raised alarm over the alleged hijack of the duties of the Ministry of Labour and Employment by the Inspector General of Police, IGP, and the Federal Ministry of Justice. But the presidency, in a swift reaction, said President Bola Tinubu is concerned about economic hardship in the country and is working hard to ameliorate the situation. From the Vanguard, its economic shutdown for if petrol price rises again, says Labour. Away from that, we also have a report from NEMA saying that Delta, Ondo, Sokoto, 16 others to experience flooding. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, said yesterday that Delta, Ondo, Sokoto, and 16 other states, as well as 56 communities across the country, were likely to witness heavy rainfall in this month of August. The agency said the heavy rainfall could lead to flooding in the affected areas. From the Vanguard, Delta, Ondo, Sokoto, 16 others to experience flooding. NEMA revealing that from the Vanguard newspaper. And also from the Vanguard, we have the story taking us to Niger Republic. Niger coups to prosecute ousted president for high treason. The newly appointed prime minister by the military junta in Niger Republic, Ali Mohamed Lamine Zain, has said the regime would survive the sanctions imposed on the country by heads of state and government of Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. And this came as military generals in the Niger Republic late Sunday night vowed to prosecute ousted President Mohamed Bazoum for what they described as high treason. Niger coups to prosecute ousted president for high treason, the Vanguard newspaper captures. And also we have the story, report from the NNPCL that no plan to increase petroleum pump prices. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has said it has no intention to increase the retail price of petroleum. The oil firm said this in a statement posted via its official Twitter account on Monday night. And the NNPCL made a clarification in reaction to reports in the media that the company was set to raise petroleum pump prices from the current 670 naira per litre to between 720 naira and 750 naira in coming weeks. And in its reaction, the NNPCL said it has no intention to increase its petrol pump prices as widely speculated. So to whom it may concern, NNPCL coming out to say no plan to increase petroleum pump prices. You get the details of that, if interested, in the business page of the Vanguard newspaper. Quickly, before we round it up, let's see the Punch newspaper. Get to peruse the front page of the Punch newspaper. From the Punch newspaper, we have a Naira slum. CBN clamps down on speculators, restricts diaspora's remittances. All right, to get that on page 19 with double riders in the Punch newspaper. Also from the Punch, on Niger, United States backs ECOWAS, demands more pressure on junta. Page 2 has the details. Bandits allegedly down NAF helicopter, kill 13 soldiers. That rather sad one also you get to see on page 8 in the Punch newspaper. NLC, I beg your pardon, protests proposed fuel price hike, threatens fresh strike. Page 2 also captures the details of that very story. Ogun, Kebbi Customs sees ammunition and petrol and foreign rice. You have that on page 4 and 5 in the Punch newspaper. Diesel price hits 950 naira per litre. Manufacturers fear job losses. Page 20 captures that. Federal government extradites siblings to U.S. for sexual extortion trial. Page 7 has the details of that. Oshu invokes no work, no pay for striking poly workers. You have the details of that on page 7 in the Punch. Quickly going through the Punch newspaper this morning. We'll start with the Naira slum. All right, we'll start with the Naira slum. All right, the story is that CBN clamps down on speculation, restricts diaspora's remittances. Following the tumbling of the Naira at the parallel market in recent times, the Central Bank of Nigeria started introducing foreign exchange intervention measures aimed at clamping down on currency speculators in the foreign exchange market. An acting governor of the CBN, Folashodun Shonubi, made a disclosure to State House correspondents on Monday at the presidential villa after briefing President Bola Tinubu on what the bank was doing to halt the slide of the Naira. He said Tinubu expressed his concern over the effect of a recent development in the foreign exchange market, particularly on average citizens. And according to Shonubi, the volatility of the Naira in the parallel market is not solely driven by economic factors, but also speculative demand. From the Punch, Naira slum. CBN clamps down on speculators, restricts diaspora remittances. The Punch newspaper captures that story. And also from the Punch newspaper, Army condemns misconduct as soldiers and LASMA officials clash. The Nigerian Army said it would begin a campaign for traffic compliance amongst its officers as no fewer than 5 yet to be identified soldiers attacked an official of the Lagos State Traffic Management Agency on Monday. A 31-second viral video showed the soldiers with scarves to conceal their identities and at least 2 civilians, one of whom also masked his face, attacking one of the agency's officials. And while the LASMA official kept screaming for leniency, one of the soldiers was seen kicking him with his boot. And despite his plea for leniency, the soldiers and the civilians descended on him, while the official with a torn LASMA uniform and rolling on the ground was repeatedly kicked before the soldiers and civilians fled the scene. Army condemns misconduct as soldiers and LASMA official clash. That in the Punch newspaper. All right, because of our time. Okay, before we continue with more headlines, let's quickly dash into our commercial room, and then we'll be back on Fresh Light on Aliamoye TV and radio. Stay with us.
Thousands have been disappointed severally in their bid to seek greener pasture abroad. To those quack in the traveling agency business, it is a rocket science. That is not our case at Tausaf Travels and Tour. We have in-depth details on how to successfully, without stress, help you process and secure your visa to anywhere in the world. Do you want permanent residential visa, visiting and tourism visa, student visa to places like Europe, America, Asia, Africa? It's no big deal to us at Tausaf Travels and Tour. Our years of experience and expertise speaks volume for us. Let's process and secure visa for you to UK, USA, and Canada within a twinkle of an eye. We offer Hajj and Umrah services to our Muslim faithfuls. What are you waiting for? Consult us at number 9, Tausaf Central Mosque, Sholanke Street, behind Laroy Hotel, Abiola Way, Abeokuta. 0802 733 0900 or 0806 578 4060. Stop wasting money. Pay for peace of mind. Talk to Tausaf Travels and Tour.
Gbogbo aláfẹ́ tó gbayì tó fẹ́ wọṣọ yìí ṣoge tó bágbàmú ló ń kọjá lọ sí House of Zayana. House of Zayana, the name I know when we talk of top-notch fashion, quality materials and class. House of Zayana, lẹ́tí máa rójúlówó Turkey wears, Egypt and Malaysia clothing, Dubai, àwọn designer bags lóríṣiríṣi, àwọn ìtẹ̀lẹ̀ bàtà tó jiná tí wọ́n fawọ́ original ṣe, àwọn aago kájọ́ tó ń ka wákàtí ọjọ́, designer sunglasses and perfumes, pẹ̀lú àwọn gbogbo nǹkan tóbìnrin àsìkò fi ń gbafẹ́ lò gbà. Mo débẹ̀, ojú mi ń ṣe kámi, èmi ni ó rà, èmi ni ó mú. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin mùsùlùmí ẹlẹ́sìn tẹ́ gbòógè gbọ́n pa fashion tẹ́ wá nílò jàlábíà, hijab àti àbáyà lóríṣiríṣi. House of Zayana lẹ́ò ti rí gbogbo ẹ̀ rà. House of Zayana wà ní 52 Ọlọ́run ṣògo road adjacent Redeemed Church Agape Parish Ọlọ́run ṣògo Abẹ́òkúta. Lórí Instagram House of Zayana 08165688618. House of Zayana, ilé ìtajà tá a ti ń tojúlówó aṣọ àti nǹkan aṣaralóge tí ń gbéni níyì.
It's still Fresh Light on Aliamoye TV and radio, and we're still perusing pages of our different newspapers this morning. Still have the Punch newspaper this morning before we definitely, I said earlier, running it up. But before we run it up this morning, we still have a couple of headlines with me. This peruse rather. And we start with a neighboring state, Lagos State. Lagos Assembly begins screening of Sanwo-Olu's cabinet nominees. The Lagos State House of Assembly on Sunday commenced the screening of the cabinet nominees sent to it by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu on Friday, July 28, and 20 out of 39 nominees had been screened by the end of Monday by an ad hoc committee of the House constituted for the assignment in an exercise that started on Sunday. It is expected that all the cabinet nominees would have been screened by Wednesday when the exercise is expected to end. On Sunday, the committee, led by the Chief Whip of the House, Majid Fatai, screened Mobolaji Ogundele, Dr. Olajide Babatunde Lawal Pedro, and the immediate past Special Advisor to the Governor on Parastatals Monitoring, Afolabi Anyotayo. The rest of that from The Punch. Lagos Assembly begins screening of Sanwo-Olu's cabinet nominees. Away from that, we also have from The Punch newspaper, diesel price hits 950 naira per litre, manufacturers fear shutdowns and job losses. Oil marketers on Monday said the foreign exchange crisis in Nigeria and the recent implementation of a 7.5% value-added tax on automotive gas oil, popularly called diesel, had pushed up the cost of a commodity to between 900 naira and 950 naira per litre in many states. The development has made local manufacturers say that the situation may lead to the closure of some factories and job losses. And speaking under the aegis of the Natural Oil and Gas Suppliers Association of Nigeria at a press briefing in Abuja, the marketers explained that their inability to access the United States dollars was impeding their ability to import diesel. From The Punch, diesel price hits 950 naira per litre, manufacturers fear shutdown and job losses. Also from The Punch. Okay, from The Punch, from the Metro page, bandits kill 2 plateau teachers and youth demand ban on open grazing. Bandits have attacked the secondary school in the Riyom local government area of Plateau State and killed 2 teachers. It was learned that the victims were a newly married couple who were teaching at the Beko Comprehensive Secondary School in the Nkiwi community of the council area. Eyewitnesses said the incident happened on Monday afternoon when the school was holding a meeting to compile results of students for delivery on Friday, 18th of August, during their speech and prize-giving day in line with the school's calendar. A youth leader in the community, Moses Gwot, who confirmed the killings to The Punch in Jos on Tuesday, said that the bandit also wounded other teachers, including the vice principal of the school. The rather sad one from The Punch newspaper, the Metro page, bandits killed 2 plateau teachers, youth demand ban on open grazing. And quickly, picking up the Nation newspaper this morning, let's get to see the front page of the Nation newspaper. From the front page of the Nation newspaper, Forex crisis, CBN likely to flood market with dollar. You get that with a couple of riders, triple riders to be precise, and the details of that on page 4 in the Nation. Also from the front page, Otudeko Otedola feud at center of FBM AGM. Page 5 has the details. NEMA warns of flooding in Lagos, Ogun, Ondo, and 16 others. That's also resurfacing on the front page of the Nation, and page 3 captures the details. Marketers put petrol ex depot price at 600 naira. Page 7 has the details. Akeredolu's wife, hopeful governor, will return soon. Page 6 has the details of that story. United States presses ECOWAS to pile more pressure on Niger junta with double riders, and that on page 6 in the Nation newspaper. Air Force probes helicopter shot down claim by bandits. With a rider, Kaduna-bound M1171 chopper crashes near Zongeru. Page 4 has the details of that rather sad incident. Customs intercepts ammunition stocked in 20 sacks in Ogun. Page 26 has the details of that very story. And quickly going through the Nation newspaper this morning, we'll start with the Forex crisis. And the report says CBN likely to flood markets with dollar. With triple riders, Tinubu okays Apex Bank's plans to stabilize currency volatility. How to strengthen Naira by experts. CBN armor to fall on speculations. The Central Bank of Nigeria has concluded plans to stem use continuous slide of the Naira against the dollar And top of this plan is to flood the market with the dollars it was lent yesterday. A CBN board member who spoke to a correspondent of The Nation under anonymity said, and I quote, "At this point, the bank is going to inject foreign exchange into the market to stabilize the exchange rate. It will be a desirable thing, and that's the essence of having reserves to stabilize the naira at any point in time." From The Nation, Forex crisis, CBN likely to flood market with dollar. The Nation captures. Also from The Nation, United States presses ECOWAS to apply more pressure on Niger junta with double riders. No to Bazoum trial. Akiyemi endorses actions. More support came yesterday for the actions taken by the Economic Community of West African States. ECOWAS so found the military coup in Niger Republic. The United States urged the sub-regional body led by President Bola Tinubu not to put its foot off the pedal. A former External Affairs Minister, Professor Bolaji Akiyemi, endorsed the steps being taken by ECOWAS to restore democracy to Nigeria's northern neighbor. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, in a statement by his spokesperson Matthew Miller, said more pressure should be applied to ensure the release of President Mohamed Bazoum. United States presses ECOWAS to pile more pressure on Niger junta. The rest of that in The Nation newspaper. Away from the foreign story, we get to see the story from The Nation newspaper that says federal government begins plans to list 100 trillion naira assets on stock exchanges. The federal government yesterday began the preliminary discussions on the nature, processes and modalities for the listing of Nigeria's foreign assets on the stock market under a comprehensive roadmap aimed at identifying, structuring, optimizing, denationalizing and listing of its sovereign asset. The federal government plans to list its foreign assets at the stock market with a view of optimizing the asset and opening up the asset to the generality of Nigerian citizenry. From The Nation newspaper, federal government begins plans to list 100 trillion naira assets on stock exchange. You get that, the details of that in the business pages of The Nation newspaper. And of course, let's round it up with a sports story from The Nation newspaper. World Athletics confirm host cities for future series event. The World Athletics Council has confirmed the host cities for 3 future World Athletics Series events as its meeting in Budapest ahead of the World Athletics Championship starting on Saturday, that's on the 19th, in the Hungarian capital. At the 231st Council meeting, the World Athletics Road Running Championships has been awarded to San Diego, USA for 2025 and to Copenhagen, Denmark for 2026. The 2026 World Athletics Under-20 Championships will be held in Oregon. The council has also reinstated Lima, Peru as the host of the World Under-20 Championships in 2024. To get more details of that, it's in the sport pages of The Nation newspaper that says World Athletics confirm host cities for future series event. And of course, we'll draw the curtain this morning on Fresh Light on the Aliamoye TV and radio. Thank you so much for always trusting this frequency. Do not forget to follow us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Aliamoye TV and radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and of course, click the alarm button to get notification of more of our programs. My name is Modukbe Akinyostoye. Good morning.